to my YouTube channel. If this is your very first time, you're very most welcome, and if you're a subscriber, thank you so much for supporting. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel. On this channel, I make vlogs about my life in Poland, and I will be talking about my career and different topics and just anything goes, really. Let's get right into the video. How did I become a business analyst? So officially, I became a business analyst by joining a graduate program where you would rotate between a lot of technical roles, but not like coding roles, but more of like analytical management roles. So I rotated around project management, business analysis, product management and service management. And the catch is, after the entire rotation, you would choose which path you wanted to go to. So having rotated amongst the different roles, I got interested in business analysis, and that's how I ended up being a business analyst. So you want to get into business analysis and you don't know how to start, or you don't even know who a business analyst or what it is. I'm going to start by telling you who a business analyst is. A business analyst, in the most basic form, is basically a translator, or should I say a bridge between IT and business, right? So we have the business and we have technology, and a business analyst is just the bridge between these two elements. Business might have ideas on how they want to transform their processes digitally, right? But they don't know how to translate their ideas into an actual product. And then we also have the technology as well, who basically would be able to transform the business processes into a digital form, right? And then we now have the business analyst, who is like a bridge in between these two people, who would work with the technology and work with the business in order to ensure that we prefer solutions. Let us get started into how you can become a business analyst. The first step, which I think, is for you to do your research. It might sound cliche, but you need to do your research and gain all the necessary knowledge, especially the foundation knowledge, and get the techniques that you need to become a business analyst. Starting my career journey as a business analyst, I watched a lot of Udemy videos, I watched a lot of Coursera videos, I watched a lot of YouTube videos. One person that I watched the most was Jeremy Ashton-Brenner. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. He has the YouTube channel called the BA Guide, and I watched a lot of his videos. I also bought one of his Udemy videos, which was also BA Guide to Requirements. If you're really interested in this role, you need to learn. You need to go binge the YouTube videos, binge the Coursera if you can afford them, or Udemy, and learn. There are a lot of basic terminologies as a business analyst you need to know. I know you want to get into tech, without having to code. Cool, but you also need to learn tech terms, right? If you're a business analyst and somebody asks you, maybe for example, what is a feature, what is a user story, when is the next sprint, and you don't know these terms, you're not doing well, right? So you need to learn some of these technical terms. Go and learn software development lifecycle, go and learn agile development as well. That way you can learn some of the lingo and some of the terminologies that you will constantly use as a business analyst. You need to know what a stakeholder is, you need to know how to manage stakeholders, you need to know how to communicate effectively, you need to know some of the techniques, the 5 whys, the MOST, the gap analysis, the pestle analysis. You need to learn a lot of things, right? So it's really important for you to get the knowledge, and especially the foundational knowledge in this role. Another website that has helped me as well is the IIBA, International Institute for Business Analysis. They also have a certification in business analysis, especially for entry-level business analysis. It's called ECBA, Entry-Level Certificate Business Analysis. This certificate is for people who have no experience in business analysis, but they want to get a certification. So you consider going to the IIBA website. They also have a lot of materials there as well. I'm a member of the website, so when I go there, I have some materials that I can read. You can join webinars and just learn how to improve your skills in general as a business analyst. And regarding the country or the location where you are, IIBA is a pretty big organization, so they usually have events here and there. I know here in Poland they had one last year, and these events are also very helpful if you go to them and network and meet different business analysts and just learn in general, right? So first step, like I said, go watch videos, go buy a course on Coursera, buy a course on Udemy, and learn the foundation of business analysis. If you don't like learning through videos, you could also buy the BA book. It is called the Business Analysis Book of Knowledge. We basically call it the BA Bible. You could go buy that book and read there. There's a lot of content, a lot of information. I personally don't like reading big books, but when I need something, I can quickly go there and just learn about something. And to be honest, that book would also help you in your future certifications in business analysis if you're interested in doing certification exams. Secondly, you need to learn the skill set. You need to build your skill set. For me, my top skills as a business analyst is communication skills, analytical skills, stakeholder management. These are my 3 top skills. If you're able to master or improve in these 3 skills, you would excel well as a business analyst. When I say stakeholder management, a stakeholder is basically a group of individual or an individual that's interested in an outcome of a product, a process. For example, a project manager can be a stakeholder, a DevOps engineer can be a stakeholder, a subject matter expert can be a stakeholder, the business itself can be a stakeholder, different stakeholders depending on the project that you're in. So what's important is that you need to learn how to manage them. You need to know how to communicate with these different stakeholders, because the way one person communicates is going to be different from the way the other person communicates, and their method of work is probably going to be different. So you need to be very dynamic and versatile and learn how to manage these stakeholders as a business analyst. I would also mix communication with stakeholder management as well, because if you can communicate well, I think you can manage stakeholders properly. So when it comes to communication, guys, like, it's one of the most underrated skills, but it is very important as a business analyst. Somebody can try to tell you that A plus B is equal to C, but you just don't understand what they're saying. So in order to develop your communication skills, you need to listen well. You need to be able to understand as well. And one thing I do as a business analyst is that I write a lot. I use my notes when I'm in meetings. I'm constantly writing things down because I could forget and I might not really understand. Trying to listen properly, right? I try to listen as much as I can. I interrupt people when they're talking, just to understand really what they are saying. Another thing I do is ask questions. As a business analyst, it is your job to ask the question. Like, there's no stupid question in this role, which is one thing I love. If you don't understand what the business is saying, or if you don't understand what the stakeholders are saying, or anybody within the process, it is your job to ask the right questions, and these right questions will help in your analysis and just help in providing solution in general. So learn how to ask questions. There are different skills that people use in asking questions. The 5 whys, where you ask people why 5 times, and there are also different ways you can ask questions. Another thing I do to help with my communication is reiteration, right? Let's say somebody says we need to do a migration for these applications. I should be able to reiterate and say, did you just say this? And then they confirm that yes, they said this. Because sometimes they can say something and you wouldn't understand what they have said, and you understood it differently in your head. So it's always good for you to reiterate in order to understand what they have said. When it comes to communication, I don't think it's possible for you to get that perfect communication skills, but it's also something that you have to constantly learn and something that you have to constantly develop. Business analysis is a very dynamic role. A business analyst in health tech is different from a business analyst in financial industry, different from a business analyst in fashion industry, or in core tech, or in cybersecurity, etc. Right? So as a business analyst, it's a very dynamic role. So you need to learn how to communicate across these different industries that you'll probably be working in, right? And one thing that's really important when it comes to developing your skills as well is learning certain tools. There are certain tools that as a business analyst you will probably use on a daily basis, which is Excel, Tableau, Power BI, SQL, Microsoft Docs, so presentation skills, which also could be added to communication as well, right? As a business analyst, you're going to do a lot of presentations. You're going to present solutions. You're going to present requirements to the development team. You're going to present the outcome of You're going to present the outcome of the results to the business as well. You're going to do a lot of interviews with the business in order to gather requirements from them. You're also going to analyze these requirements. That's why it's really important for you to learn how to present as well. You need to be a really good presenter. In general, people need to understand what you're saying, right? So these are the skills that I think that are really important. Excel is also a really, really important tool. It's like an intro into data analysis. So if you know how to use Excel well, you can also advance into using tools like SQL. As a business analyst, however, you might not be doing a lot of deep analysis, but you should be able to know how to extract data. You should be able to know how to extract data from a database, data that you could use for your analysis, right? That's also important as well. When it comes to data visualization tools, so we have Tableau, we have Power BI. You could also use Excel as well. So Tableau and Power BI are like the most popular data visualization tools that you could use to create interactive reports, interactive diagrams for teams. So when you're doing your presentation, based on your analysis, you can create interactive charts, interactive reports for your teams using Power BI or Tableau. One thing you need to learn how to do is to be versatile, because it's a very dynamic role. You can go to an organization where they are using, for example, Jira for their development, and then you can switch to another organization and then they use Microsoft Azure DevOps, or somewhere else and then they use GitLab. So you have to learn how to use these tools. These tools are usually not hard to learn, especially when you know the basic terminologies. These tools usually have the same elements, it's just that they are done differently, right? It's just like the way we have Microsoft Excel and we have Google Sheets, right? So you just need to learn how to be versatile, because when you switch across different industries, or different organizations, they might have different tools and you need to learn them, right? It's just a very basic thing, to be honest. That also brings me back to why the role is dynamic as well. Is, like I had said, business analyst in health tech is different from a business analyst in financial industry. So you need to learn the industry's terminologies, the industry's techniques. You need to learn, because for you to be able to be good at that role, prefer solutions, create products that are beneficial to the business, you need to know about the industry, right? So you need to know what's happening in the industry. You need to know what kind of solutions, features that you can develop for that industry. That would be important for them, right? If you don't know, you won't be able to prefer solutions. So as a business analyst, you need to be willing to learn, right? Learning is something that you never stop doing, and that's one thing I like about this role, is that whatever you start a new role as a business analyst or in a new industry, you need to take time to learn about that industry and learn how to prefer solutions so that you can do better and improve in that industry and improve the solutions that they have in that industry. So yeah, I think these are the core skills that you could learn in order to develop in this role. And one last thing is also requirements gathering and analysis. Analysis is really broad, right? There's so many ways to analyze things. People analyze using analytical tools. I think when it comes to analysis, it's something that you have to learn, and you have to constantly learn as a business analyst, right? And it's a very, very important. So having watched the videos, done the research, gotten the foundational knowledge, also starting to develop the skills. And finally, third step, try to get experience. There are boot camps out there. There are junior business analyst roles. There are internships. There are associate roles. You can look for these roles on the internet through job websites, LinkedIn, etc. Look for junior business analyst roles, look for internships that you can join, and then you gain experience. Experience is very important in this role. You will hardly see people hire a business analyst that has no experience, right? So it's also important for you to try to gain experience. If you're working somewhere currently, ask your manager if they have a mentorship program. Join a mentorship program. See, for example, you have a business analyst in your company, ask them if they could mentor you, tell them why you're interested, and package yourself well, and you can find somebody that's willing to mentor you, that you could shadow and gain experience in the role. Also, we have boot camps, right? There are lots of boot camps out there that you probably have to pay for, and then they will train you, give you business analysis courses, and then give you some experience, like internship experience. It's usually unpaid, and then after that they will expose you to recruiters or like recruiting events where you might get recruited for a business analyst role. However, I noticed that most boot camps you have to pay for them, so I advise you to do your research and see if people have good reviews from these boot camps before you pay for a boot camp. So like I said, mentorship, boot camp, search for junior roles, search for internships, try to pivot within your company. Another thing about business analysis is that if you're already in tech, there are lots of transferable skills that you have. For example, like I said, if you're a really good communicator, you can excel in that role, right? If you're really good with analysis and attention to details, you can also pivot into that role. So once you have these skills and this experience, you can create your CV in a way to say, oh, for example, I don't have an official business analyst role. However, I know how to gather requirements. I know how to communicate effectively to gather requirements from people. I know how to analyze people's requirements. I know how to solve problems. I know how to think creatively. That could also help you as well, especially in the job market. And finally, networking is really important. My current role is just because I went for a networking event. Check online for your current location, networking events that are happening. Join them, especially there are lots of ones that are free. If you can afford to pay for the ones that are being paid for, you pay for them. If you want to go for the free ones, go for them. Meet people, introduce yourself to people. Say, I'm really interested in this role. I've done my research. I know the foundational knowledge. I'm developing the skills, and I really want to get hands-on experience. And it will definitely help you as a business analyst, or help you get into the role as a business analyst rather, right? So guys, it's really important to network on LinkedIn as well. Follow people who post about business analysis. Follow people who are business analysts within your network, within your location, and you see they will usually post about events or just post very informative things that you could participate and interact with, right? Even within your current organization, try to network with people. If you find business analysts within your current organization, network with them, ask them questions, ask them to mentor you if they can, ask them to introduce you to people that can mentor you. If there's already a business analyst organization within your company, join them, see the things they post. They usually post about events, and you could just join some of these events. I know for sure that the IIBA is a very big organization, and they have events usually across the world. I know they had one here in Poland last year. So just come for these events, guys, and that way you'll be able to pivot into the role, or not necessarily pivot, and that way you'll be able to meet people who are business analysts and who can also help you as well. I hope this video has been very informative, and if you have any more questions, please let me know and I'll be sure to answer. See you on the next video. Bye.